four segments to this
Okay.
segment, sub-segments.
Okay.
And Anita, you get the lead on this one.
Okay.
We're talking about red flag law, Veto. So you have the floor, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I know that's a hot topic for a lot of people, and you know, Ray, you've worked with people, you know, who are suicidal, and you're really familiar with that. I work with Starting Point services for victims of domestic and sexual violence, and to me, I mean, I look at it, you know, I try to look at it on a personal level, you know, a hypothetical personal level. If Uncle Bill is in my house and Uncle Bill is having mental health issues, and Uncle Bill and my grandkids are there, and Uncle Bill says, you know, I have this gun, I'm feeling suicidal, and I may also go to Hannaford and I may use this gun. You know, it is my duty to protect, not only to protect my uncle, but to protect my family and to protect the public. And you know, I know the argument is that red flag laws violate your constitutional rights, but it goes before a judge. It goes through the court system. It's a temporary measure. If somebody drives a car drunk, they have their license taken away. And if they go back in their car, they'll probably have their car impounded. So I feel that not dealing with that problem is infringing on my constitutional right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I feel it's my duty and everybody else's duty to protect. And it's usually protecting the person who's suicidal more than anybody else. And Ray, you know that. You know, you've worked with people in those situations.
So the red flag law, if I understand it properly, there was no due process prior to the taking of the firearms. It occurred after the fact.
Okay.
So I will throw that out as a discussion point.
And that's the part, is everybody's focusing on the Second Amendment piece, because shall not be infringed. Okay. And I will admit that there are people out there who should not have firearms, you know, and we have laws for that. If you know, the Lautenberg Amendment is a great one. A great one. If you have committed domestic assault and you've been tried for it, and there's a restraining order against you as well, you can't have your guns. Your guns are confiscated underneath that issue. The problem I have with red flag laws is as somebody who has worked in suicide prevention, it has a tendency to push the individual away from help-seeking behaviors. We need to intervene to the left of boom, and that is a military term that we're talking about. It's before we hit the crisis mode. We need to be training the friends and family of Uncle Bill. We need to be talking to Uncle Bill. We need to know what Uncle Bill's baseline is, and that's an educational piece that we need to get out there. And there's a great program out there called CALM, Counseling on Access to Lethal Means. And it's not just guns. We focus on the gun a lot, but when we start talking about suicide prevention, CALM means making sure that you don't have the meds to hurt yourself when you're in that position. Making sure that there's no rope or a noose hanging there. And finding ways to provide time. A 5-minute delay increases your survivability by 25%. An hour increases it by 75%, and that is huge. So we're talking about delaying time. When we go in to confiscate a gun, we are creating a potential conflict between the police and a citizen with no due process between those two things. At a time when we are having strife between our civil servants and our citizens, the last thing we need to do is create more conflict in that fishbowl. We need to deconflict situations, not make them worse.
I just say, Ray, you're trained in this. You know how to deal with these situations. You've been in them. I'm not. And if my Uncle Bill is, I keep using that. I don't have an Uncle Bill.
I hope you don't have an Uncle Bill.
No, I don't have an Uncle Bill. If Uncle Bill is in my house, and I don't know how to deal with this, frankly. I'm going to, number one, protect him. I'm going to get him out of my house, and I'm going to make sure, or I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that Uncle Bill doesn't have a weapon to hurt other people as well. I'm not trained in that. I'm just not.
I think that we've